Welcome to the Heal Her Soul workshop. My name is Coach Stacy. I am a self-healing coach, and I am joined with two incredible women that inspire me every single day. Dr. Dashia, who is a purpose ambassador, and Dr. Ebonee, who is an empower mentor. We all have so many other titles and hats under our belt, but today we're going to be speaking about healing, purpose, and empowerment. This is the Heal Her Soul workshop, and we have so much to share to be able to help heal your soul so that you can make this next year the best year of your life and step into the best version of yourself. So, a little bit of breakdown about what we're going to discuss today. We're going to go over the timeless, simple knowledge of yourself. Of thyself. Okay. We're also going to go over the healing layers that happen through your body, your soul, and your spirit. Dr. Dashia is going to bless us with the assignments versus purpose. And then we're going to get into a healing hypnosis session that's going to help us visualize our life path. Okay, it's the life path healing hypnosis session. And we're going to close it out with our empowerment queen, Dr. Ebonee, who's going to give us a powerful closing so that we can start off fresh for this new year. Let's go ahead and get started. Before I forget, I want to make sure that you guys understand that Dr. Dashia and Dr. Ebonee are part of my Safe Space with Stacy podcast, OGs. Okay. They are my original girlies. They were on season 1 of my podcast. And so if you have not already, you can either go to Apple or Spotify, look up Safe Space with Stacy podcast. And when you go to season 1, you'll see Dr. Ebonee and you will hear her incredible life story in episode 20. And then go to episode 27 and you will hear Dr. Dashia's incredible story. Because of these podcast episodes, that's the reason why I stay connected with these two amazing women, because their stories and their resilience and their growth that they've experienced from what they've experienced in their life is why I do what I do. And so I'm so grateful to have this workshop with these incredible women. Make sure you go check out their stories on Safe Space with Stacy podcast. So we're going to get right on into it because time is money and money is time. Just kidding. Because I value you guys this time. So we're going to get into what it is. What is your body? All right. So your body, we're three different entities. Okay. So we're a body, a soul, and a spirit. And so as you know, your body is your vessel. It's what you're in right now. It's basically your steering guide for you yourself on this earth. So it's our home we live in as we walk this earth. It's the physical representation of who we are, carrying us through every experience that we have on this earth. Your body holds so much wisdom. It remembers every joy, every heartbreak, and every triumph. So I want you to take a moment and write down this question for yourself. And you can ask it at the end of this workshop for yourself. But how often do you listen to your body? How often are you paying attention to what it's telling you when you need rest or when you have some sort of pain? Do you listen to it regularly? Do you honor what it tells you? The healing in yourself actually begins when we stop ignoring the whispers our body tells us and start listening to the wisdom. So your body holds everything that you've ever experienced. It will tell you what direction you need to go into and everything. And so when you feel those certain little pains, or you do feel really, really tired, or you're even feeling hungry, even you have a craving for something, go and listen to your body because it's your vessel. It's literally what's steering you. It's steering you on the ship. So it's very important to take care of it and listen to it. And let's go on to our soul. So the soul is often considered the essence of who we are. It is our unique individuality, personality, emotions, and moral compass. It is seen as the bridge between our physical body and our spiritual existence. So that just means right there, it's the bridge between our spiritual existence and what we're experiencing on this earth. Okay, your soul is actually, it chose you to experience what you are experiencing on this earth right now. So the function of it is it connects our physical self to our spiritual realm. It houses our thoughts, emotions, and will. It often is viewed as eternal, continuing after physical death. If you're on this call right now, you more than likely are an old soul. You are more than likely a person who has been experiencing some growth and feeling as though nobody else around you understands or gets you because you feel it in your soul that you've been here before. And so what I truly want you all to understand that your soul has chose your body to go through what you have gone through. So any of those hardships that you have experienced, your soul literally is like, you know what? I chose you to get through this. I chose you to get to the other side of this. And I also chose you to show others how to get to the other side as well. Let's go on to some spirit. We're going to tie it all in together. So the spirit, right? The spirit is often viewed as the divine, eternal part of us that connects directly to God, the universe, or the source of creation. It is the life force or energy within all beings. It represents the breath of life, vitality, or essence of being alive. So we're often connected to a higher conscious and the divine. So spirit is actually the higher conscious and the divine. Spirit is not necessarily just one entity. It's a whole collective. It's basically directly connected to God. So your spirit is directly connected to God. So the intuition that you feel, that is a download, is how I call it, from spirit to your actual soul, for your soul to tell your body to move in a certain direction or to do a certain thing. And so intuition is going to be the thing that's going to connect your spirit to your soul. So always, always trust your gut. Trust your intuition. Trust that gut feeling that you have, even if it may not make sense. Well, I'm sure Dr. Deja is going to speak about it, but sometimes you're not going to know what your purpose is. Like you truly, it's not that easy to really know what your purpose is unless you really truly get in tune with where your spirit has guided you. And so if your spirit has guided you through some turmoil and you made it to the other side, that is a blessing and is your responsibility now to help the next person get through that turmoil too. So your spirit is often connected to a higher consciousness and the divine, and it also guides us towards spiritual enlightenment and awakening. So a little bit about my awakening that happened for me was back in 2016. I thought that I had it all. I had my salon that I dreamed of having in New York City. I had a marriage with a man who was successful. His family had commercial buildings all over New York City and a restaurant down the block from our house. I was living rent free in a building that they owned. And I just knew that, their legacy was going to be carried through me because I was married to their oldest child. And I was just straight, right? I thought beauty was my end all be all. I knew that beauty was going to be my thing. I just knew that beauty was going to be my thing. But then all of a sudden, spirit hit me with an awakening. My husband turned physically abusive, and I knew that my husband, I did not want that to be an example for what my child, his stepson, was an example of a man. I didn't want that to be his example. And so my awakening was I had to choose myself first, and I had to drop everything and absolutely positively leave and start fresh to save myself from any more physical harm, and who knows what else could have happened, right? And so I dropped everything and went to the domestic violence shelter. And then as I'm a raging alcoholic, I got into not drunk, but I got into a car accident that knocked me unconscious. And at that point, I'm already in the domestic violence shelter. I already got knocked unconscious. At that point, my body had to surrender. I had to surrender to what God wanted for me. Because obviously, what I was doing was not correct. Me trying to control everything from having the salon to getting into this quote unquote perfect marriage where I'm going to be provided for, what I controlled wasn't what God wanted for me. And so I had to have my awakening. And I literally had a whole ritual at the beach where I surrendered at the beach in the water, and it was gorgeous. And from that day, I said, God, I need you to be in everything that I do, from the conversations I have to the experiences that I go through. I'm not going to say it's been the easiest, but I would not be here right now if I wasn't guided spiritually to that enlightenment and to that awakening with my husband, my ex-husband. Thank you, Jesus. I am currently divorced from that, and I am currently a free single woman, and I'm so excited to be able to take my everything to the next level, because I'm telling you, when your spirit is glowing, you have an inner glow that radiates outside of you. There's so many things, people, places, and things that are going to try to take that light away from you. Actually, one of my closest friends got me this got me this drink, or got me this cup. You can't really see it, but it says, "Never let anyone dull your sparkle." Your sparkle is your spirit that wants you to shine through, shine on, and live out your highest version of yourself. So never let anybody or any situation ever dull that sparkle or dull your light. Okay? So let's talk a little bit more about this light and our uniqueness that we embody. This quote from Black is Queen King has changed me in a way of understanding what the mind, body, and soul, how it's all connected. And so Beyonce from Black is King says, "You were formed by the heat of the galaxy. What a thing to be both unique and familiar, to be one and the same and still unlike any other. Life is a set of choices. Lead or be led astray. Follow your light or lose it." And this is an image from Black is King too. So I wanted to give you guys this image is because this is literally how you were formed. Spirit, universe, divine source created you. A light force was created in your mom's belly when you were formed. But when you were in this state right here, that's when God gave you your purpose. That's when God chose your soul to experience what you're experiencing right now. And so your body is your vessel, the captain of your ship. I was saying on our live last night, one of my favorite quotes from the poem Evictus is, "I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." So you are the master of your fate. You literally can control every aspect of what happens in your life through manifestation. And at the end of the day, healing is what gets you to the manifestation of what your purpose is here on this earth for. The healing from those turmoils, those baggages, that pain that you've experienced is what's going to get you to the other side, to the light. And so you are so familiar because we are all one. We all came from that same universe that you saw. But you're also very unique. Even if you were a twin, as soon as your twin eats something different than you, y'all are two completely different species. That makes you so very unique. Your own gifts, your own talents, though your abilities that you have that nobody else has, that's what makes you unique. And that's the talents that you'll be using to serve. So you're like others, but unlike any other. And when you make the right choices for yourself, you follow your gut, you follow your bliss, you will be able to lead in the path that spirit has for you. Never, ever, ever lose your light. Follow your light. Don't let anybody dim your light. So, spirit chose you to live what your soul is here to learn. Spirit chose you to experience what you are going through right now. Your soul may have experienced some other things, some other lessons, right? And because they chose you to go through the lessons that you're experiencing, they want you to take it to that next level. One of my first ever online mentors said, life is a video game. You're like a little, I don't even want to say the name, but you're like a little Sonic the Hedgehog, right? You're a Sonic the Hedgehog running through this earth, jumping over the fires. I don't even know if he collects coins, but you're running through, and when you fail one level, you get go back to the beginning, right? But because you already took those paths, you might have jumped the fires and everything, and you fail. Now, the next time that you get up, you know that there's a little pit right there. And so now you're equipped to hurdle over that pit and get to the other side. So there's going to be so many life lessons that you're going to have, especially when you're healing, especially when you're manifesting. There's going to be things that are going to come and tempt you. I call them tests and fires. There will be some kind of test that will come to try to bring you back to the unhealed version of yourself, to bring you back to the old soul, to the old person that you were before. And you have to know to be able to put up those boundaries to not allow anybody or anything bring you back to the old you. So you must follow your gut in all that you do. Follow your intuition in all that you do. Remember that your intuition is going to be the portal from your spirit to your soul. So that intuition, the intuitive guide that you get, especially when you're doing all of the amazing healing modalities that I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys at the end of this. Not all of them, but I'll explain the little bonus that you guys are getting with this. But when you start really doing all of the healing modalities and getting in tune with your internal self and start following your bliss, start doing what makes you happy, that's what's going to be that compass for you so that you will be divinely guided on this earth. If I would have never surrendered to what God had for me, who knows where I would be? I just more than likely would be miserable. It wasn't until that I surrendered and I told myself, you know what? As I was healing, this information needs to be shared with other women. But let me save myself first before I try to save the world. So I went on a whole monk thing, 3 years of just getting in tune with who the fuck I was. And then as like I was walking on this earth, I call it angels on earth. Like Dr. Dashia and Dr. Ebonee are my angels on earth. But I ended up speaking with one of my oldest brothers who was 21 years older than me in 2020. So this was me being a monk for 3 years. And then 2020 happened. Then my mom passes away. And my oldest brother, who I didn't have any relationship with because he was so much older than me, he asked me, what are you planning on doing for yourself, Stacy? And I said, I have no clue, no clue whatsoever. But I something's pushed me in the direction of now helping others in what I've had to endure. And he said, he was another person that basically said, Stacy, you have a light like our mother. You have a heart like our mother, but she allowed all of her demons to get the best of her. And so what we had to endure while growing up was an alcoholic woman who beat on her children, who chose men over her children at some points. And from the evictions to the poverty to the repossessions, all of that poverty stuff that we had to endure, plus the abuse, could have steered me astray. But I had to make sure that I followed my gut and my soul and my spirit of knowing that there was more and better and greater for me. And so I ended up suppressing all of that abuse that I endured. And when I suppressed it, it actually led me to the awakening of my ex-husband's experience and going through a car accident that knocked me unconscious. Now, if you don't, the way that God, the way that spirit is going to talk to you is first it's going to start off as a whisper. It's going to be like, hey, I think you should go in this direction. And then when you're not listening, it's going to be a little bit of a shove. Hey, sis, I told you you should probably go in that direction, but you're still holding on to this, holding on to them. And then you may have to just get completely knocked down, like I did with the car accident, for you to say, you know what? Obviously, what I'm doing is not right. Obviously, you take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. You show me where. And so I look for confirmations in what I'm doing through the conversations that I have. I feel so in tune and aligned with Dr. Deja and Dr. Ebonee because of our grit and the grind and the glory. Make sure you get Dr. Ebonee's book. That's her title. But because of the resilience that all three of us have endured, but we're still choosing to serve the world as best as possible. So this is the affirmation that I want you guys to make sure that you start saying on a regular basis. Because when I had my salon, I thought that was my end all be all. Me getting knocked off my feet, saying whatever you want, God, for me is what I'm going to do. This isn't anything that I thought that I was going to be doing, guys. I thought I was just going to be doing some makeup and some microblading for the rest of my life, opening up salons around the country, and that's still possible. But I had to give up all of that and pivot my entire life to really truly surrender to what God had for me. And so this affirmation I like to share as often as possible because this affirmation is what kept me steering straight. And so it's I choose to serve the world as much as possible and earn a great living while doing it. When you say this religiously, regularly, the Lord's spirit will divinely guide you to the right path that you're meant to be on. And I'm just going to tell you right now, just as you've heard from my story, it may not be the path that you expect, but you have to follow what deep down inside of you you're being pulled to go to. And there's going to be times like maybe you're going to be pulled to leave what is familiar to you. You have to leave what has been stopping you and blocking you from getting to that divine abundance that is your birthright. I just feel called to say that. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I feel as though some of the things that we women have to get more in tune with is really, really, truly listening to our body. And one thing that our body usually will feel the best with is with rest. So I need you all to make sure, because I know every last one of you are a mother, a wife, a girlfriend. You take care of so many people. Your best will come from your rest. So take care of your body as you are on this earth. And your soul is divinely aligned with what your spirit has for you and why your spirit chose you to be here. So remember to follow your gut, follow your intuition, and you will not be led astray. So I hope you guys got some good gems when it comes to body, soul, and spirit. I try my best to simplify what it is that we are as beings because all of these woo-woo people just kind of get it it's just extra. They add a lot of extraness to it. And I just like to know the simplified why I got to do what I got to do. And so I had to learn myself to listen to my body. Even in my therapist was like, what's happening in your body right now? I never had that in my life. Anybody asked me that. And I was like, I feel like a flooding coming out of me right now. And that was the first time that I was like, what? Wow, you really can't feel what's happening in your body if you sit there and consciously focus in on it. So focus in on what your body is telling you so that your soul can steer you in the right direction. Now, um, I said on the call that you guys all are going to get something that's going to help you in your whole healing journey, healing path. And it's my ebook that I absolutely love. It's called The 101 Ways to Heal Yourself. And so I'm going to be giving everybody in their course portal the 101 Ways to Heal Yourself ebook. Please make sure that you try everything on that list at least once. And the thing that sets your soul on fire, continue to do it. Make it a routine. And as you're doing this healing work, you're going to be guided more divinely, especially with the information that is about to be shared from my girl, Dr. Dashia. Yeah. So Dr. Dashia has been such an inspiration because, like I said, her podcast episode is when I actually got to know her story and the trials and tribulations that she had from the jump of her life and her making it to this part of her life, this point of her life, where she's able to spend time with her grandchildren. She's able to love on her family and herself. She's in a happy, positive place that just fills my heart with so much joy. Her story has been something that has inspired me to keep on going. And so she is the expert at purpose. That's why she is coming on here as the purpose ambassador to teach us how to get to and know that we're in the right space. So welcome, Dr. Dashia, to the Healer Soul Workshop. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Coach Stacy. I am so super excited for one that you asked me to be a part of this. I am forever grateful to you for everything that you did for me in terms of helping me get to this healed place in my life, right? To be able to forgive and let go and move on. And that was such a powerful thing for me because it's really when I began to be more open to my purpose and less guarded. So thank you. Thank you so much. I am excited for everyone that's going to get this replay. For those that are here now, I'm excited because, I mean, just your breakdown of our soul, our spirit, and our soul and how they're connected. I mean, I'm not going to remember. I mean, I'm not going to forget this. How often do you listen to your body? Because sometimes I have rest guilt. And it's like if I'm resting, I feel guilty because I feel like I could be doing other things. And that is something that we do have to pay attention to. So thank you for that. I am going to hop right in, guys. I'm going to share my screen if I could find the right screen. I got so many screens open. But let me find the right screen to share. And I'm going to share really quick to see. I think this is the right one. There is no sound. I don't need to share sound. Okay, share. All right, you guys disappeared for me. But can you see my screen? You can?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Did I show up all cute like Stacy, like Coach Stacy
It's
in the
not
middle?
it's not blanking out, no.
Okay, let's
You still
see.
cute though.
I'm like, I like that look. I like how it looks. All right, let's get to the presenter. All right, there we go. All right, guys. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about really is how to get to this place um, where you are able to be authentic in your purpose. In this world today where we get so many different messages from so many different places, sometimes it's hard to just be ourselves authentically and not have to feel the need to change and be who other people think we should be. And so we're going to hop right in. I am your purpose ambassador. I am the one who really just help you on this journey, right? A lot of people come to me and ask me, can I tell them what their purpose is? I am not your God. I'm just the ambassador. I can't tell you what your purpose is. I am an author, a speaker, and a purpose ambassador. I help women discover their purpose and crush the limiting beliefs that stop them from living more fulfilled lives. Because if we can get past our own thoughts, and those beliefs that other people really have given us, we will be able to be a lot more authentic in how we show up. So I wanted to just go over some of the things that you might not even realize are signs of you not being in your purpose or authentically in your purpose. So there are emotional and mental signs, right? They may be you feel like something is missing. Have you ever had that feeling where it's like, I don't know, something like something is just it's something missing. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you know that it's not all the way complete. That's a sign that you're not in your purpose. Frequent comparison to others. And this world of social media, we're comparing our journey to their journey, our story to their journey, to their story. Um, that's a sign that you are not authentically in your purpose because you're still looking at what others are doing and how they're carrying out theirs, and comparing. And to be honest with you, I really believe some of us need to stop following certain people who make you feel like you are not enough, or you got to, compare yourself to them and live up. Some of us, some of the gurus that we look up to, or some of the people that motivate us can also be the same people that have us in our thoughts and making us feel like we're not doing enough because we're trying to live up to that standard. So comparison is another emotional and mental sign. The lack of fulfillment or lack of true joy. Have you ever done something that just, it feels good, but you go to bed, you get up, and it's like, okay, that was all right. But you still feel like I need to do more. I need to do more. Guys, that's a sign. That's a huge sign. That's really one of the biggest signs. Because we think if we get the money, if we get the car, we get the marriage, we get the house, that then I'll be fine. And then you get all those things and you realize you still not. You're still not. Something is still missing. There are behavioral signs, procrastination. Sometimes people think they're procrastinating, for all these other reasons, when really it is your soul is like really sometimes putting a halt on you because it's not connected to whatever it is you're trying to do. Because it longs to really live out your purpose, or overcommitment, saying yes to just everything because it's easier to just be a part of everything instead of taking that time to sit with yourself and really figure out what you're supposed to be doing instead of just doing things. Avoiding meaningful reflection, self-reflection. Sometimes we do not take the time to really self-reflect on ourselves. Like Coach Stacy said, we don't take the time to listen to our bodies, to feel what we're feeling in our body, right? But we don't take the time a lot of times to reflect, how did I feel about this? What do I think about that? How did this situation make me feel like, or how was my day? What made me feel fulfilled today and what didn't? Taking that time to just self-reflect as opposed to looking externally to everything else, is really important with getting connected with your purpose. And when you're not doing that, that's a sign that you're not in it. The physical signs, fatigue and burnout. We're just burning ourselves out doing all these different things. And when you're passionate about something, you ever notice that you don't even feel tired when you're doing it? You could do it and do it and do it, and it's like, oh, I'm ready to do it again. But when there's something you really don't like to do, it's like reading a book, or every time you pick up the Bible or whatever it is you should be doing, you get sleepy. all of a sudden you get tired or you feel burned out, that's a sign, guys. Or just tension in your body. Maybe you notice you're getting a lot of headaches, right? You're carrying tension in your neck, you're carrying tension in your shoulders. Uh, those can be signs that you're not walking in your purpose. You're not operating in your purpose. You're doing things that are putting pressure on you that are not good for you, really. Relationship signs. So, strained relationships. It's hard for you to maintain meaningful connections. For one, because you're not really connected with yourself. It's hard to connect and stay connected to other people when you feel disconnected within yourself. So when you're unable, when you see yourself constantly have, and it doesn't have to be romantic relationships, guys. It can be friendships. This can be relationships on your job. But when those things feel strained and it's like it's a lot of work to do, you're operating outside of your purpose. And people pleasing. We don't even realize sometimes when we're doing that. We're people pleasing, we're prioritizing other people and their expectations of us over ourselves, over what we know we really desire and need to be doing. That's a sign that you're operating outside of your purpose. And then, of course, those spiritual signs. Like Coach Stacy was talking about, when you're connected to, your higher power, you feel a sense of your purpose when you stay connected. But when you lose that connection, or you lose that distance from your faith or from your higher power, you feel it. That's when really those overwhelming feelings of like something is missing. Yes, your soul needs that connection. It's trying to get the understanding, and remembering, what am I supposed to be doing here? You were created for a reason and your soul knows that. And so it's constantly trying to connect you back to that. And then that nagging intuition. As women, we talk about our intuition a lot, but that intuition where, is this loud voice, right? When like, this is not where I'm meant to be. This is not what I'm meant to. This is not what I'm meant to be doing. It might feel good to others. It might look good. Maybe I thought this is what I wanted, but now that I have it, or now that I'm here, this is just not it. This is just not it. And it's not always easy to follow that intuition, especially when you're financially secure. And that in that situation is making you financially secure, right? It's hard sometimes to listen to that intuition. And then those practical signs, right? You're just not, your goals are not aligning really with what you truly desire. You're doing things for other reasons, whether it's for money or whether it's for that people pleasing, but it's not really aligned with your authentic desires. That's another sign that you are operating outside of your purpose. The lack of impact. If you feel like the work that you're doing is not meaningful, if you feel like the impact that I want to make, I can't seem to make it, I can't seem to get there, that's a sign that you're operating outside of your purpose. And then your disinterest in your passions. If you were once passionate about something and now all of a sudden you don't even have a desire to really do it, you're operating outside of your purpose. Those are signs. So I want you guys to either take a snapshot, write them down, whatever. When you start, and pay attention, like Coach Stacy said, pay attention to yourself. Listen to your body. It's speaking to you. It's telling you, you know, what it is that it wants. And when you're out of an alignment, you can feel it. You can feel it. All right. So research shows that knowing and living in your purpose can add up to 15 years to your life. So guys, when I was doing my first dissertation, I did some research on this culture in China, this little village in China, right? And I wanted to kind of know what built resilience and why people were able to be, some people, it seemed like, were born with resilience, and some, I don't know, it felt like it had to be developed. But I wanted to understand that better. And I found, and this little village had nothing to do with my actual study, but I was so captivated that there was this group of people that lived to well over 100 years old and continually were healthy. They were not, you know, they were not having to be cared for by other people. Like these were healthy people mentally, physically, and the researcher in that study found out that when he asked them, all of them, kind of what did they feel like was the reason why they were still healthy and going strong. And they were doing, it was like a brain research, and they had brain scans and different things hooked up to them while they asked them this question. And every single one of them answered this with, I know why I wake up every day. I know what my purpose is. And then it showed that there is a chemical. I can't remember the chemical. Don't make me lie. I went looking in my notes for it last night. Dr. Ebonee, you might have to help me on this one. If you could find, if you know. But I went looking in my notes last night because I'm like, what is the name of this chemical? I know it starts with a D, but our brain produces more.
Dopamine.
Is it dopamine?
Dopamine makes you happy.
Produces more of it when we know what our purpose is. And that has added to the longevity of their lives. So sometimes we're they tell you stress kills, right? So imagine if you are not, you may have some stress in your life. Stress is unavoidable, right? But if you know what you're waking up for every single day, you know what you're supposed to be doing, right? That right there in itself can eliminate some of the stress. Some things that bother you now won't even bother you because you know, like, that has nothing to do with what I'm here for. So I'm not even gonna worry myself with it. But I thought that was a really interesting fact that it adds 15 years to your life. So what I want you to think about is, and I want you to write this down. What's the one thing you love doing that makes you feel alive? What makes you feel alive? So many times we do things just because we have to do them. We got to go to work because we got to pay the bills. We got to, cook because we got to feed the family. But what makes you feel alive, right? It's important for you to know that. It's important for you to know that your purpose is not just what you do, but why you do it. If you're doing something because it makes you feel alive, it's tapping into your purpose. The why behind that is very, very, very important. So let's hop into this because I really want you to understand the difference between purpose versus assignments. A lot of times, I get a lot of clients who say, well, I'm doing this job and I think this is my purpose and it feels like it's my purpose, but I'm not making enough money and I want to leave or whatever. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start this business. And I think that this is the part where people sometimes get confused. We get our purpose tied in with our titles or with our roles. And there is a big difference between our purpose and the assignments that we have within that purpose, right? Like I was a teacher for many years. I was a principal for 8 years, right? I ran a nonprofit for many, many years, still do. And those things, while they helped to fulfill my purpose, they were assignments. They were temporary things, right? That allowed me the opportunity to fulfill my purpose. But they were not my purpose. Running a nonprofit was not my purpose on earth. Being a teacher is not my purpose. It was an assignment. It was an avenue to carry out what my purpose was, what my purpose is. So your purpose is your why. It's the core reason that you exist, right? And it's the impact that you're meant to make. So it doesn't matter what assignment comes, that assignment is going to help to fulfill that purpose. Your purpose is unchanging. It does not change like our jobs do. It's tied to your values and it's tied to your passions. Okay. God is just amazing in the way that he makes us love what he created us to do. It's like, he could have made it where it's like You hated it, but you still got to do it. You know, the kids love nice things, but they hate keeping them up. Um, they love the electronics, but they are not very careful with them. They break them. But God created us in a way that we really are proud. We love what He created us to do. We just got to figure out what that is. Our assignments. Your assignment is your what. So remember, your purpose is your why. Your assignment is your what. It's the tasks, the roles, the jobs that it takes to fulfill your purpose. They're temporary. They may last for many, many years. They may last for many months. They may last for a day. You might meet someone today that you are supposed to pour into, and you may never see that person again. That person was your assignment for today to help you carry out your purpose. But sometimes we take our assignments and we make them permanent in a lot of different ways, in friendships, in jobs, in marriages, in all kind of in businesses that we just won't let go. We a lot of times take our assignments and we make them permanent because we're confused about what our purpose really is. Your the assignments that you're in, they may even evolve over time. Right? So your friends, you may have a really close friend that you were best friends with, and that friendship may evolve over time to where you're not as close anymore. The love is still there. There's nothing negative about it, but what that friendship desired or what your purpose was in the beginning is not what the purpose is now. And we got to be okay with that. We got to be okay with that. So your purpose, I want you to think about it like this. Even for me, like my purpose is empowering women to live authentically in their purpose, right? And I may do that through being a mentor, creating podcasts, being on other people's podcasts, hosting workshops, being a part of a workshop like this, writing books. Those things are all just assignments, are part of the things that help me carry out that ultimate goal, that ultimate purpose of empowering women to live authentically in their purpose. All right. So, what I want you to do, thinking about all of the things I just said, I want you to write a list of your current and your past assignments. Think about all of those things, even friendships, people that you were assigned to or connected to. And then I want you to think about, okay, what am I currently focused on? What assignments am I currently focused on? And figure out, even if you don't know your purpose right now, I want you to try to get in that mind space to think, how is this assignment helping me carry out my purpose? One thing about assignments is they all are connected in some kind of way. And you might not notice why you're in it. You know, well, I was, an assistant at this job and I did X, Y, and Z. And then I got promoted and I became, the right-hand man to the CEO and I did X, Y, and Z. But how are those things connected? How are those assignments connected? There is always a connection that leads us back to our purpose. We just gotta pay attention. We have to do that self-reflection in order to understand that. Okay. All right. So purpose versus passions and goals. A lot of times people think their purpose is their passion, but I want you to think about this very simply, because I'm not going to go into a whole breakdown of each three because it's super simple. Your purpose fuels your passion, and your passion fuels your goals. So right now, people are making their vision boards and they're doing all of these things, but what's fueling those goals? Is it their purpose? Is it their desires? Like, what is really fueling those goals that's on all the vision boards that we're going to see come January? So it's super, super simple. Passion is the gas. I mean, purpose is the gas for your passion, and passion is the gas for your goals. And if you keep it in that order, I promise you, life is going to be so much more happy for you. So here are three key steps I want you to take down to help you uncover your purpose. There's no way I can ever tell you what your purpose is, right? I told you I'm just the ambassador, but I can give you some steps on how to get there. Is this by any means all the steps? No. Purpose, uncovering your purpose is a journey. There's constantly pulling back layers, right? But here are three key steps that'll help you. One is reflect. Reflect on what lights you up. What problems are you uniquely positioned to solve? What do people already come to you for? What do people already treat you like the expert for? All right. And then realign. Focus on assignments that connect with their bigger why. So when you write down that list of all your assignments, I want you to think about, okay, my why, what am I really here for? How are these assignments connected to those, to that? And then release. Let go of any assignments that no longer serve your purpose, that are no longer connected to your why. Let them go. Release them. Even if you thought this was going to be a permanent thing, sometimes you got to release. All right. So reflect, realign, and release. Take a picture, take a snapshot, but you'll get this in the replay. So rewind, write it down, pause, whatever you got to do. But it's important for you to understand that. And then I want you to craft your purpose statement. And we're going to close after this. I want you to craft your purpose statement. All right. So your purpose statement is, this is like the formula, right? My purpose is to, whatever the impact is, by whatever the action is, through whatever your unique skills or passion is. So to the bottom, I kind of wrote out mine in that way. My purpose is to empower, that's the impact, right? Empower women by helping them discover their purpose, that's the action, okay? And live in it authentically through coaching and mentorship and published works. That's the unique skills and passion. That's how I can uniquely help them. So I want you to think about that. For one, you got to identify what your core values are. What do you value? Two, you got to define what are your unique gifts? What are those things that you can do just effortlessly that seems like it's work for other people to be able to do? We all have gifts that are meant to solve someone else's problem. A lot of times we think our gifts are for us, but they're really not. They're for other people. All right. So define your unique gifts. Describe the impact that you want to make. What do you want? How do you want to leave this world when you're gone? Number four is to combine your values, your gifts, and impact into this single powerful statement. And continue to refine and reflect on it until you get it to a place where it's like, that's it, that resonates, that makes sense. Okay. All right. So what now? What now is you just got to revisit your purpose statement regularly. Create, that vision of what that looks like in your mind. One of the things that I do, once I really understood what my purpose was, I have like this, and I wrote it out too, this vision of what my life looks like when I am fully, authentically walking in that purpose. I mean, what I'm doing, how it makes me feel, who I'm surrounded by, like that ultimate vision of my life, right? That's the vision that you should be going to bed to every night. And that's the vision you should be waking up every morning to. So if you got to write it down, if you got to speak it into your phone, whatever you got to do, before you go to bed, play that thing back, close your eyes and see it. See, what does my life look like when I'm empowering women? How does that make me feel? What do they get from that? Man, seeing the smiles on women's face and seeing women being able to release things, whether it's people, things, drugs, jobs, whatever it is, and feeling more empowered to just be who they were created to be. I mean, for me, that is like the ultimate vision. Go to bed to that. All right. Visit that vision constantly and then commit. So after this, I want you to commit to at least one step toward aligning to your purpose this week. Make that commitment. I'm going to do one thing this week that's going to get me closer to a more realization of even what my purpose is, right? And aligning myself to that. All right. And then book a free call. Let's talk. Let's converse. Go to my website, book a call, absolutely free. And maybe you got more questions. Maybe you need a little bit more clarity. I'm open. I'm here to support you, to be your ambassador through this journey. But that's what I want you to do now. That's what I want you to do after this. I don't want you to get off of here, put your notes to the side and say, oh, that was great. It made me feel good in the moment. And then you've gone on with your life, right? You have to take the information and utilize it. And you got to do it immediately. You got to activate immediately. That's how this thing works and consistently. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave you with this quote, guys. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. It's not for you, it's for everybody else. It's for those who you're supposed to be connected to, those who you're supposed to serve. So do not let those people stay out there waiting for you to get out of your own way and walk authentically into your purpose. Coach Stacy, I want to thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I can get back. Let's see. How do I get back? Oh, there we go. Stop sharing. There we go. I want to thank you so much. Guys, I really hope that this was helpful for you. I pray that you take those techniques to help build your purpose statement and really do the work to help figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing here because your soul is not going to let up until you do it. I'm just telling you right now. It's not going to let up until it accomplishes what it came here to accomplish. So go ahead and get started. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Coach.
Thank you, Dr. Deja. That was beautiful. I just knew that it would be like confirmation for me. And I was saying it on my presentation. I do things to get confirmations and conversations. And that whole entire presentation was a confirmation for me to know that my assignments, some of them they got to go. And I need to really truly focus in on what I'm on this earth to do. So the ultimate vision of your life, we're actually going to get to the ultimate vision of your life right now through a healing hypnosis session. Okay. I got goosebumps already. That's how you know it's about to be good. So, Dr. Deja was speaking about your assignments, the things that, deep down inside of you, you want to accomplish. And we can get in our own way when it comes to accomplishing these goals. There is so many things that I did for myself when I first started my healing journey and even this coaching journey was I would self-sabotage a lot because I didn't feel worthy or deserving of it. I would procrastinate because I didn't feel worthy and deserving of everything that God was putting on my heart that I was supposed to accomplish. And it wasn't until that I actually did this healing hypnosis session that it fueled me to get to my purpose. It fueled me to not allow any kind of bump in the road to stop me from my purpose. And this workshop is literally a manifestation of those things that I was imagining as I was doing the life path healing hypnosis session for myself. And so I want you all to, you don't have to worry about laying down. It's actually a hypnosis session that you can sit down in your chair and do. I just want you to make sure that you're comfortable. If you're catching this replay and you're listening while you're driving, I need you to pull over. Don't do this while operating heavy machinery. Or driving, okay? But I want you to just follow along with what are the things that I'm telling you to do. And the biggest part about this whole session is allowing yourself to truly feel the things that I'm saying. Okay. You have to truly vision yourself in the areas that I am um, saying in the session. I'm just trying to pull up the actual thing for myself. 1 second. All right. Where are you? Okay. So, like I said, you can sit in your chair. You don't have to lay down. We're gonna uh, go over, make sure everything is on do not disturb so you don't have to worry about getting distracted. Make sure your doors are closed so no children start running in here trying to bother you while you're doing the session. Just try to be in the most quiet, comfortable, relaxed place possible. And it's okay if you are sitting down, like I said. But I want you to start visioning for yourself all of the reasons and everything you tell yourself as to why you can't go out and live out your purpose. What we're going to do here in a moment is we're going to go down two different paths because at the end of the day, all of your path on the least resistance is excuses. You give yourself excuses. It's all BS. All of the excuses that you give to not live out your purpose, those are the things that are going to keep you down the path of least resistance. So, give me a moment. So, the first path, it might be a little painful. You might not like it. It might suck a little bit. And we're going to look and we're going to continue to allow yourself to be controlled. If you continue to go down this path, you're going to continue to allow yourself to be controlled by these fears. So when we start to discuss what does your life look like in 5, 10 years, and ultimately at the end of your life, some of you may start crying. Some of you may feel like you want to throw up. You're gonna be in so much like, oh my God, I just feel disgusted. When you go and you truly experience these feelings that I'm about to share with you. And that's okay because it's going to be necessary for you to be motivated to get to the right path. It's when these words create feelings of motivation within us. So the more you can embody it, the more you can really feel it. And you're going to keep going on the 5-year path to the 10-year path. And maybe you may feel like you are not in the right path of, maybe like you feel like in 50 years, you're going to be 50 pounds heavier. And when you think about it, dwelling on you at one point being heavier, it's a problem. Like it's basically, sorry, I need to start all over again. Don't kill me. This is my first time doing this. Be with me, please. Okay. So we're going to do some hypnosis today. Today's section, we're actually going to go down, we're going to sit in our seats. And the reason we are doing it from our seats is because we're sitting, we can feel a little more than when we're laying down. And it's harder to feel when you're laying down. So make sure your phones are off, do not disturb, all is good. And the stuff we're going to get in a couple seconds. So give you a couple seconds to make sure that you're all lined up. Okay. So you're going to keep your eyes open for the beginning of this. What I want you to do is keep your eyes open and I want you to look up at a spot on the wall in front of you. So look up at a spot. It could be on your ceiling. I want you to focus in on that spot. And as you focus in on this spot, I want you to also notice everything that's in your peripheral vision. When we focus on a point and we put our attention on our peripheral vision, it begins to put us into a trance. And as you now go into this trance, I want you to take a long, deep breath in and hold it. As you breathe out, you can close your eyes. Close them all the way down. And as you're sitting there, listening to my voice, with your eyes closed, breathing in and out of your lungs, your subconscious mind is about to go on a journey. So I'd like you to think about the big picture thing that you've been procrastinating on. The big picture thing you have been putting off for far too long. And as you think about that big picture thing, all of the reasons and all the excuses and all of the limitations that you've been telling yourself, everything you tell yourself as to why you can't, I want you to imagine all those excuses that you've been giving yourself. All the excuses, all the limitation, and all the fears that hold you back to bubble up from your subconscious mind and into your conscious mind. And as everything bubbles up to the surface, that you're thinking about how long you've been telling yourself these stories. You've been afraid to fail. You've been afraid of what other people think of you. You've been afraid of success. How long have you been telling yourself these things? How long have you been saying, I don't know? I don't have the resources. Have you been telling yourself the same story over and over again? And as you think about how long it's been, I want you to think about everything that you have missed out on in the past because of these irrational fears and limiting beliefs. The relationships you missed out on, the financial opportunities, the weight of the world that you've been carrying with yourself for all these years. And as you think about everything you missed out on, you feel the weight of remaining the same. You feel the stress, the anxiety that has caused you all these years. Feel it. Not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And when I count to 3, we're going to go out to the 5-year mark of continuing down the low and easy road, allowing yourself to be controlled by these irrational fears and limiting beliefs. And remember, the most important part is that you allow yourself to feel the pain of remaining the same. On the count of 3, 2, 3 years, we're going to count to 5, and you're going to be 5 years out. 1, 2, you're feeling the pain of always procrastinating. 3, constantly self-sabotaging yourself and not getting to your goals. 4, and 5. We're 5 years out. Your fears and limitations are holding you down. They're keeping you stuck and stagnant. Continuing down the lazy road, you're impacted by every aspect of your life. How does it affect your relationships, your friendships, relationships with yourself? How does it affect your health to be constantly going down the low an easy road? How does it affect your health when you look into the mirror? 5 years have gone by, but it looks like 20 in your face because of all the stress, all the anxiety, the procrastination you've held on to for all those years. How does it affect your health, your mental health, your emotional and physical health, and your finances? How many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars have you left on the table that you will never get back? Feel this decision. Feel this pain of staying in your comfort zone. That's right. I'm going to count from 1, uneasy road of staying into the comfort zone. And at this time, I want you to amplify the feelings times 10. 2, 3, there you are. Years of being in control of all your fears. The same story over and over again you've missed out on. And what it feels like if you continue down the low and easy road with your relationships, your friendships, your family relationships, your relationship with your sex. You may look at every single day in the mirror, missing out on your dreams, both aspirations, continually breaking promises to yourself, breaking commitments to your loved ones. How does it affect you financially? How does it affect your health? How do you feel remaining the same? I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And when I count to 5, we're going to count out the last few days lying in your hospital bed. A few days left. And at this time, I want you to amplify the feelings times 100. Allow yourself to feel sadness, being sad and remaining the same. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There you are, lying in the hospital bed with a few days left. Imagine seeing yourself clearly and vividly, hearing the sounds of the machines as it's keeping you alive, the smell of the hospital, the smell of sickness, lost dreams, broken promises, the smell of loneliness in the air. Visualize the doctor, nurse coming in to check on you. Hear the door closing behind you as you leave and as you're lying in the hospital bed. You begin to reflect back. And as you reflect back, you think about everything you missed out on because of the irrational fears and limiting beliefs that you allowed to take over your life. You think about all the fun and adventure you never had. You think about the vacations you never got to go on, the relationships you missed out on, the fact that you're dying early, all the missed dreams and missed opportunities just flash before your eyes. As you're lying in your hospital bed, you feel a deep sense. You now feel a deep sense. You feel deep of regret. Because the only thing you do about it is you remain the same. I want you to imagine as if your current self from today is standing in the room with your future self that has gone down this 10-year path of the low and easy road. Your current self, this version of you that made excuses, I want you to imagine you are looking at yourself lying in your hospital bed. You can see on your face, you can see the pain and the look that's in your eyes. I want you to look at your future self in the eyes, deep within your soul. I want you to promise to your future self, make a promise that no matter what, as long as it's legal, moral, ethical, and it aligns with your values, no matter what, you will not go down this path. Make a promise right now to your future self that you will take action now and go down the path of success. Look deep in your eyes and make the promise right here, right now. Make the promise, and you will find that when I count from 1 to 5, you'll be back to the here and now, and you will be back here and now with your eyes open and wide awake. 1, you're coming back to the here and now. 2, you're feeling yourself coming back to the present. 3, 4, and 5. What did you have for breakfast today? As you're becoming more awake, I want you to imagine that all the shit, all the limitations, all the fears, and all the stories that you threw it out the window. So now we're going to go down the path. And this time, I want you to amplify the feelings even more. I mentioned earlier how the stormy days will catch our eye and the sunny days. So the untrained mind is very easy to go into the negativity. It's very easy to feel stress, but we have trained our minds, especially after being here in this workshop, to go down the path of least resistance. So what we're going to do as we go down, we're going to feel the positive path. And as you felt the negative path, you're really going to allow yourself and give yourself permission right now to feel the excitement, the passion, the motivation to create the future that you want and you deserve. I want you to pay attention to the spot up there. So you can open your eyes, look at the ceiling, look at the spot again, right above. And as you're staring at that spot, I want you to open your mind. Begin to pay attention to what's in your peripheral vision as you go into a trance. That's right. As you now going into a trance, go ahead and take a long, deep breath in and hold it. And as you breathe out, go ahead and close your eyes. As you're sitting there listening to my voice with your eyes closed, breathing in and out of your lungs, your subconscious mind is now open for success. I want you to pretend, imagine for a moment where you want to create the possibilities of having a successful path. If you knew how and you had the time, the resources, the money, the energy, and the ability, pretend now and embody this version of yourself, the most confident version of yourself. Become her in this moment, the most courageous version of yourself. This version of yourself looks fear in the eyes and does it anyway. Become the most joyous, passionate version of yourself right now. That's right. Now, not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And when I count to 5, you're going to go out to the 1 year mark when you take action now and follow through on your goals and your dreams. And as you go out to the 1 year mark, the most important part is that you allow yourself to feel the feelings that I described to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you are now, 1 year from today. Would you take action now and follow through? How is your decision to take action now improve every aspect of your life? How does it improve your relationships, your romantic relationships, your friendships, your family relationships, your relationship with yourself? How is your decision to take action now and follow through improve your health, improve your wealth? Imagine yourself 1 year from today in the best shape of your life, in mind, in body, and in soul. Look at yourself in the mirror. See the light and the glimmer in your eyes. See yourself smiling from ear to ear. That's right. Your decision to take action now and follow through, it improves every action, every part of your life. It can improve your business and yourself from 1 year from today, making more money than you've ever made in your life, having the freedom and the time to do what you love with the people that you love. What will you do? How will you celebrate your success 1 year from today? Where will you go? Who will you take with you? What will you do? Imagine as if you were there in the morning, right now, in the moment. See it clearly and vividly. Imagine tuning up the brightness. You're going to make a mind movie, your mind movie come alive. See all the colors vividly and clearly. What do you hear when you're celebrating your success 1 year from today? What do you hear your internal thoughts say? Your self-affirmation saying, I am a success. I did it. I created this. What are you hearing from your external environment? You hear laughter, hear the sounds of your environment all around you, your children laughing and playing and having a good time. Notice and feel the excitement of your creation. I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And let's go to the 5 year mark when you take action now and follow through. And this time, I want you to amplify the feelings times 10. 1, 2, and there you are, 5 years of success. 5 years of building and growing every single day. 5 more years of financial success. 5 more years of being in shape of your life, the best shape of your life, in mind, in your body, and in your soul. 5 years deep of loving connections and relationships. What is life like 5 years from today? Imagine you are living in your dream home, in your dream relationships, in your dream body. That's right. Allow yourself to smile from ear to ear. Who are the people in your life 5 years from today? People who you know now, people who you haven't met yet. What are your finances like 5 years from today? 5 years from today, the only reason you work is because you want to, not because you have to. You're doing what you love, living a life of passion. Imagine yourself there. Give yourself permission to live this life in the here and now. That's right. See it, feel it. That's right. 1, when you take action now and follow through, and this time, I want you to give it all that you got. Allow yourself to feel the excitement. When I count from 1 to 5, we're going to go to the 10 year mark. Feel the confidence, patience for your life. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you are there. 10 years, your dream life, taking your imagination and making it your reality. What is life like 10 years from today? Who are the people you're surrounded with? How many lives have you touched? How many people have you helped create their dreams, to take their imagination and make it a reality? Feel the gratitude, the love, the appreciation. Open up your mind to all the possibilities. What is your dream life? Imagine anything and everything that is possible right now. That's right. Now I want you to imagine you're standing in a room with your future self, the highest, best version of yourself. Today, you are in the room and you see the most successful version of yourself in every aspect, the healthiest version, the wealthiest version, the most loving, kind, and caring version of yourself. I want you to notice in this room all of the people's lives you impacted along the way, people you've inspired just by watching you. Create your dreams into reality. See your family, your friends, your employees, see the people you haven't even met yet. As you imagine all of these people standing in the room, I want you to see the smile on their faces. See the look and the attitude in their eyes. Feel the love these people have for you. That's right. Now, as you're standing in this room, looking at your future self, your family and friends, I want you to make a promise. As long as it's legal, as long as it's legal, it's moral, it's ethical, and it aligns with your values, no matter what, you will take action now and go down the path, no matter what challenges, no matter what. You will keep going. Keep them in the eye and make that promise right now. When you look your future self in the eye, right here, I want you to promise yourself that you will take the path to success. That's right. I want you to imagine that everybody left except for yourself from today and your future self, your highest self. I want you to imagine that you and your highest self is in the room. And I want you to notice how your facial expressions, your body, your energy, and your aura project all around you. Notice the characteristics of your highest self. As you're noticing your highest self, the healthiest version, the wealthiest version, the most loving and caring version, this most passionate, inspired version, I want you to imagine your highest self is getting closer to you. And as they get closer to you, you can feel the energy building in your body. As your highest self gets closer, I want you to pretend or imagine your highest self, the most successful version of you, is stepping into your body. Imagine, feel the integration taking place at the deepest level of your being. Feel yourself coming to alignment with your highest self in this moment. Feel it throughout every cell, every molecule, every fiber of your being is vibrating at a higher frequency. And you are now your highest self in this moment. I'd like you to take this moment of silence to ask your higher self, silently in your mind, what do I need to know to become the highest version of me? Every single day, what do I need to do? All the insights, all the ideas. That's right. Wonderful. I want you to remember all these ideas, all the learnings, all the inspiration. Keep your promise to yourself and your loved ones to go down the path of success. In a moment, when I count from 1 to 5, when I count to 5, your eyes will open. You'll be fully alert, feeling fantastic in every way, knowing deep down within yourself These few moments of hypnosis have been truly very successful for you. One, you are now an inspiration to yourself and others. Two, you have a strong sense of certainty and wonderful feelings of looking ahead. Three, feeling and knowing your time here today has been the best investment of your life. Four, ready to go out, to take action now and follow through. Five, feeling fantastic in every way. Welcome back. Life path hypnosis can get you down the deep hole, but we bring it right back up to you so that you can vision that your life 5 years, 10 years out. Sometimes that roller coaster is what you need in order for you to really understand and be grateful for the things that you're able to live out your purpose and do. So I hope you guys enjoyed that session. Thanks for the hiccups at the beginning for dealing with me. So we're going to welcome in our last speaker of the night. We knew that Dr. Ebonee was going to be able to infuse the empowerment that we need in order to close out this workshop, but also take our life to where God has divinely guided us to, which is our purpose. So the woman the woman that has inspired me so much throughout the last couple of years. Um, I'm just so grateful to hear her knowledge and hear her speak. So I'm gonna go ahead and welcome Dr. Ebonee to the stage.
Hey, woo. Listen, I don't even know how to come behind you with that. I'm so in a peaceful place now. I thought I was going to be yelling and screaming. I'm like, come on, Lord, what am I going to do for this empowerment session? But that was so peaceful. Like, I'm just,
We need
so
more of that
thank
in our
you.
lives. We need more peace and relax.
Yes, 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 yes. I love peace. I love harmony. That was just a serene place for me to go right now. But thank you so much for the beautiful introduction. Thank you for having me here alongside the two greats, Coach Stacy and Dr. Dashia. I have had the honor of meeting you finally in person after we had our podcast session and so many conversations. And then I had the honor of having Dr. Dashia at the Push Brunch to grace us on the stage with her beautiful kindred spirit. And it was just so amazing, so amazing. So I am honored to be chosen to be here tonight with you ladies and all that will partake in this recording. Because first and foremost, let me pull up my PowerPoint. Let's see. Can you see it?
You want to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you got to hit the button share screen and the bottom middle.
Okay. I thought I did as I was talking. I was trying to multitask. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, and the hiccup was fine. That was a okay hiccup. It didn't matter. All right, there we go. Let's see. So I wasn't going to use a presentation, but as you were speaking and you ladies did so well with your presentation, I was just like, let me just get this up and going right quick. So is it okay if I keep it like this, or do I need to put it in presentation mode? Dr. Dacia saying yes. Okay. All right, here we are. And so I am Dr. Ebonee Gresham, better known as Dr. Ebonee Empowers, no pun intended. I am your empowerment queen. I am your get up and go queen, your motivation, your inspiration, your fuel to your fire to ignite you, to encourage you, and to get you just going, right? Regardless of what you have gone through, regardless of what you are going through and going to go through in the near future. I am your empowerment queen. And so, as we have had a wonderful time together tonight discussing healing, right? Healing and also purpose and passion and our assignment. Here we are, the healed woman. And what does that really mean? Rising strong, empowering the woman after healing. So, understanding that empowerment after healing, let's talk about that entire process. That process means that you have the confidence, the control, and the ability to create positive change in one's life. And so, as you see, it's a continuous process, right? So it doesn't just happen overnight. It's a process, and you have to do what? Trust the process. I always look at it as baking a cake, right? It's a process and it takes time, it takes patience. But what you create, that masterpiece at the end that is edible and so beautiful, it was well worth it, right? That process that you had to go through, it was well worth it. And so empowerment is just that. It's a continuous process, especially after healing. And it's about reclaiming your strength and your purpose. Going back to the healing process that Coach Stacy talked about and the purpose that Dr. Dashia talked about, now we're bringing it all together, encompassing the empowerment. Okay. The connection between healing and empowerment. Healing creates the space for personal growth and how, once healed, women can use their strength to shape their future. So, what does that mean? You take every moment, every aspect of your life, whether good or bad, and you take those moments, let's say even the dark places, the dark spaces that you have gone through in your life, and you use those as building blocks and stepping stones in your life to get to the next level. Okay. And so we don't take those moments and let them hold us back. We don't take those moments and let them become a challenge for us. We don't take those moments and let them become barriers to us getting to our purpose and our destiny. We take them and we use them as building blocks and we step right on top of them to get to the top, to get to the next level. Empowerment is a choice. Empowerment is a choice. And so anything that you choose to change, right? And let me say it like this: anything that you don't choose to change, you are choosing it as a choice. Okay, let me say that again. Anything that you don't choose to change, you are choosing it as a choice. And so empowerment is just that, it's a choice. Empowerment comes from within once healing has occurred. Hence why we are talking about this after the healing, after you find yourself, after you find your purpose, right? You realize what those passions are. What are your goals? You start feeling what's inside of your body, like Coach Stacy talked about, and becoming one with your mind, body, and soul. And so you're coming to a place of healing. And once you're at that healed place, the empowerment takes over and you become strong, you become bold, you become confident, you become fierce, right? And fearless. And so now you are ready to go out and break barriers, all right? Barriers that probably held you back. I'll give you guys an example. In my personal journey, in my personal story, I was a mom and I still am a mom, but I had my children at a very young age. I was a teenage mom. And so I had a lot of people in my family and friends to talk about me, right? And to say things like, oh, you're only going to be a statistic. You know, you're not going to get far. And mind you, I grew up in a very well structured environment with my mom as a single mom as well. But I didn't have some of the barriers or challenges or disadvantages as maybe some of my peers. But just hearing those things made me feel some type of way. Okay. It made me feel some type of way. And for some people, they could lose themselves within that because of you thinking about what other people are saying about you, their opinions, which don't matter at all. But you can lose yourself, and that's just being honest. That's just being real. You can really lose yourself within all of that. But once I began to realize who I was and whose I was, I began to utilize those, how they say, your haters are your motivators. I began to utilize those different things that could have been a negative attack on me, on my character, right? On my purpose. I began to use them as stepping stones. And so I'm like, I'm going to show your butt. I'm going to show you. And even before I show you, I'm going to show myself. I'm going to show my children, right? And so I began to take back the power that was given to me because nobody can take that. We know that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And if so, he is doing his job at this point, in this juncture in our lives. We have to do our part and we have to remain empowered, remain motivated, remain inspired and encouraged in our lives. Key strategies for empowerment. All right. So the importance of speaking up and expressing your truth. And so what I say to that is your mess, God will turn it into a message, right? And so your story is your glory. You have to be able to get up, get moving, get working, get empowered. All right. And you have to speak up. Your voice is necessary. There are so many people that are waiting to hear your story. That test that you have gone through, which is now a testimony, there are so many people that are waiting to hear it. But you, first and foremost, have to be encouraged. You have to be empowered and you have to speak up and express yourself and tell your truth. Okay. So, like I said, your story is your what? Is your glory. All right. There is healing in your story. There is healing with you connecting with your journey because it's a part of who you are. It's a part of your purpose, right? So you cannot shy away from your journey. You cannot shy away from your calling. I didn't realize just in my personal journey that everything that I had been through and I had gone through made me into the woman that I am today. Now, if I had known that, right, 15, 20 years ago, would I still said, okay, God, send me through this journey? Absolutely not. At that point, we would have been like, come on, let's fast forward this. But again, it's going back to trusting the process. It's a process that you have to go through, to get to and through to your healing process, and then to get to your empowerment, right? And so confidently communicating with others, just being assertive, self-expression, and setting boundaries. So one of my favorite quotes, this is a Dr. Ebonee quote, is to learn to say no, but don't take no for an answer. And I'm going to say that again. Learn to say no, but don't take no for an answer. And so what that means is oftentimes, and guys, listen, saying no is a part of self-care. Okay. You cannot be in too many places and doing too many things at one time because then you are not taking care of you, mind, body, and soul. And so oftentimes I have to tell my kids no. I have to tell my spouse no. Sometimes you have to even tell yourself, Ebonee, no. All right. So learn to say no, meaning that you are setting those healthy boundaries. I don't care if it's at work. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur and it's in your business, in your relationships, all relationships. Learn to say no. Going back to what Coach Stacy talked about earlier, just get in tune with your body. Your body will tell you when it's time to say no, when it's time to rest. Like she said, you are your best when you rest. Okay. A couple months ago, I was bedridden in the hospital because I just wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no to people. And actually, I didn't even say no to myself. I just kept going, kept going, kept going. Even in my sleep, I swear in my dreams, I was still working. I would wake up 2, 3, 4 in the morning and I'm back on my laptop, back at it. I have a book on Amazon and other platforms called The Grit, the Grind, and the Glory. And in that book, I talk about that process of the grit, the grind, and now being at the glory. But one thing that I realized, even in my own book, that grind is a hard place. A lot of times we say, I'm grinding, I'm hustling, but what does it really mean to grind? To grind means to get down. And if you're grinding so much, it's like your car, right? When your brakes begin to grind and you're getting down to that place where you're right there at your rotors, you begin to hear this loud screeching sound, right? And so that means you've kind of grinded too far. You went down too far. Same thing with your teeth, right? So we know that some people grind their teeth when they're asleep, and we have to put a barrier inside of their mouths, right, when they're sleeping, so that they don't grind down onto the enamel. But the problem is the grind. The problem is we hustle and grind so much that we just completely wipe ourselves out. And we never learn to say no, not even to ourselves. And so, with this, guys, I hope you take this and understand that learning to say no is self care, but don't take no for an answer. And what I mean by that is continue to push, never give up, right? Continue to go after your dreams. Do everything that God has ordained for you to do. Do not stop. Do not give up. It's only a failure if you stop trying. And so that's what I mean by don't take no for an answer. Knock on every door, because every door that somebody says no or closes it in your face, probably when they closed that door in your face, it was for your good. I know many of us can remember doors that were closed. And at the time, it didn't feel good. But later on, we said to ourselves, God, thank you for closing that door. Thank you. Because you know what? You dodged a bullet, like they say, right? And so some doors are closed for a reason. Let them stay closed. But there's others that you have to just walk away and go find a door. Sometimes you got to create the door. You create your opportunity, okay? But keep going. Do not take no for an answer. Do not get discouraged because you got 1,000 no's, but that 1,001, which is that yes, is because you were determined. All right. You had that resilience and that grit and that empowerment, that encouragement, that fire and that desire inside of you to keep pressing forward. Keep pressing. So learn to say no, but don't take no for an answer. Building self-belief. So self-belief and empowerment and how to rebuild it after trauma or healing. So these are some techniques such as positive affirmations. And we do have an affirmation ebook that I created many years ago, but I still to this day read this, my own affirmation ebook, right? Visualizations. That was what we just went through when we did the hypnosis. Visualizing what does my life look like in 6 months? What does my life look like in a year, in 5 years? All right. And having self compassion, that means give yourself some grace. That's how you build yourself up. Don't knock yourself down all the time when things don't look like they're becoming, or when you feel like, okay, this isn't happening fast enough. Give yourself some grace. And so, what I want you to do is to take a moment to write down 3 empowering affirmations that you can say daily. All right. So, I'll give you 3 as you're writing those down. I'll give you 3 that I use. And one is, of course, I am worthy. Okay. I am worthy. I am worthy to have anything that my heart desires. And if it is in alignment with God's will, I am worthy. All right. Another, I am beautiful. And I'm not just talking about vain in the outside, but I'm talking about the inside. Inside has to be as beautiful as the outside, right? And so, what I mean by that is You're just a beautiful person overall. You love to give. You love to share. You're not a gatekeeper. You're positive. You fight off negative vibes, right? And you just overall are just an optimistic person. You love to give. It's not always about receiving for you, but you just love to give to God's people. And so my very last one is I am blessed. And so I wake up every morning thanking God for another day. There is a quote that by Les Brown that my mom used to always say to me, God rest her soul. But my mom used to always say, when you get knocked down, if you can look up, you can get up. So if it's another day that you opened your eyes and you are above the ground and not below and not beneath, you have another day to push through. You have another day to make it a great day. Maybe yesterday wasn't your best day, but when you open your eyes, just having gratefulness, right? Thanking God, I am here, because we know there's a lot of people who aren't. Our loved ones, our friends, our family members, other people that we know who have lost people. And we just thank God every single day. God, I am blessed. I am blessed to just have breath in my body. I am blessed to see another day. And so those positive affirmations that you wrote down, just starting with those three, I want you to begin with those, but to write, to create a journal and utilize the one that we're going to give you as well, so that you can begin to build your bank, so that when your spirit gets low, right, you have those affirmations to follow. And to number one, speak into yourself. A lot of times we look for podcasts. We look for motivational speaking, but you have to be your number one coach. You have to be your number one cheerleader, and you have to learn how to empower and motivate yourself, starting with positive affirmations. All right. And so just that self belief, guys, believing it within yourself. Setting boundaries and protecting your energy. That goes back to what we talked about learning to say no, but not taking no for an answer. Just setting those healthy boundaries. You have to protect your energy. We cannot blame anybody else, anybody, not our family, not our friends, not our spouses, for our energy. And I'll give you a funny story. And this is a true story. It's true fact. I sometimes have to not answer even for my children when they call. They know if they call twice, it's an emergency. They know to, before y'all go try to chew me out, right? And mind you, I got 10 kids, so give me some grace. They know how to text me. But for me, setting boundaries, because so many people, right, including my family, my immediate family, my children, my spouse, even the dog, wants my attention. They need something. In order to set that healthy boundary where I have to pour into myself first and protect my energy. And y'all know, if you got adult children, they come with adult problems, okay? Even though they're your children. But I had to learn how to set those boundaries to protect my energy. Same thing happens at work. When you go to work, you might have this Debbie Downer, right? That's at work. And she always gossiping at the water cooler, like they say. She always got something negative to say, and she talking about people at work. Set your boundaries, okay? Protect your aura, protect your energy. I don't want to hear it, Debbie. Don't even go around Debbie. Sometimes you got to tell Debbie, stay. I ain't the one. I don't want to hear it. Protect your energy. What you eat, what you hear, every orifice on your body, what you eat in your mouth, what you hear through your ears, what you see in your eyes, what you take in subconsciously and consciously is very important, protecting your energy. And like I said, saying no is actually an act of self-love and a form of empowerment, okay? Embracing confidence and taking risks. Listen, take a risk on yourself. You have to take a risk on yourself. Challenge your fears and step outside of your comfort zone. A lot of times we are stuck, and the reason why we can't get motivated and fired up is because we're stuck. And we are challenging ourselves. Actually, I hear all the time where, yes, it's other people, that may be hating on us and stuff like that. But a lot of times you hating on yourself because you won't step outside of your comfort zone. You won't take that leap of faith to say, you know what? I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. Okay. That's you just saying to yourself, I trust you, Lord. I believe in you, Lord. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I truly know that you have it all together and you have it all together for my good. And so today, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, I challenge you, all right, to step outside of your comfort zone. Matter of fact, right now, just think about that one thing that is holding you back. It could be finances, it could be other people. Like I said, it's all you. It's all you because you have to take control. But what is that thing that's holding you back? It's something that's limiting you. All right. Is it imposter syndrome? What is it? Think about that one thing. And today, right now, decide that you are going to step outside of your comfort zone. No more excuses. My mom used to tell me excuses are tools of losers in life, and those who use them build monuments of nothing and never succeed. Challenge your fears, look them in the face, step outside of your comfort zone, and today decide that today is the day I'm going to take a risk on myself. Enough is enough. You've already taken risk on everybody else. Listen, when you get in your car and you drive to your job, you're risking your life to get there to serve others. Today is the day that you will decide to take that risk on you. Building a support system. So empowerment thrives in supportive environments, right? And so I always say a seed has to be planted in a nurtured environment. A seed has to be planted in a nurtured environment. And so that seed, right, goes into the ground, but that ground has to be fruitful. Okay, that ground has to have fruitful fertilization. That seed has to have the sunlight. That seed has to have the water to replenish it in order for it to grow. That seed, meaning you, cannot be in the wrong environment or it will not thrive. It will not survive. It will not flourish, right? And so that seed, which is you, has to be in the right environment, that supportive environment. That supportive environment, meaning that you are around people that inspire you. You are around people that motivate you. You are around people that encourage you. That is going to help to empower you, to push you, to help you to thrive. And I'm not talking about social media. Like Dr. Dashia said, sometimes we look at social media and we are comparing, right? And so that it's a sickness, it's a disease, and we sit and we compare ourselves to others. But get some people around you that motivate you, that push you, all right, that helps you to thrive in the right environment. You know, a lot of times I hear people say, get in the room with like minded individuals. And that may be true. But let me tell you the Dr. Ebonee way. You ready? The Dr. Ebonee is to break out of your comfort zone and get in uncomfortable environments. Don't get in a room where everybody's thinking the same because you will be stuck in that same circle, right? You will not adjust and grow if you're in the same space. And so you need to be around people who are not like-minded, who actually challenge you to think differently. Okay. The other thing to help you is to overcome obstacles with resilience. With resilience. What are we talking about here? Empowerment, the grit, the resilience, the determination. All right. Setbacks are a part of life, and how resilience is a key part of empowerment. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All right. This girl is on fire. Y'all want me to keep going? I can sing. It's so many different songs that I can take right now just to show you that resilience is key, right? Keep pushing. Strategies for bouncing back from adversity and staying strong in the face of challenges is what it's all about. Build those strategies, from the affirmations to different songs you have to hear to being around people who are empowering and motivating. You can't be the only one. You cannot, because you need somebody to pour back into you and to pour back into your cup. How do you do that if you're the only person that's the motivator? You need to thrive in environments that you can thrive in, and that's having that support system. I hope that you guys are catching this, okay? And so, celebrating your progress. Oh my goodness, the small wins. The small wins are so important. Sometimes we think that, oh, I have to have this or I have to have that, and again, I don't even call it social media, guys. I call it psycho media because it really can make you a little crazy, right? If you just if you ingest it a little too much, okay? And so take the time to reflect on even the small wins. I don't care if you lost 1 pound. I don't care if you began to write your book, right? And you just wrote 1 chapter. Everybody else got a book. They got a whole book. I got my book here. If I can grab it, right? But you can't look at me and say, well, she's written a whole book. Oh, guess what? All you got to do is write 1 page. Write down what the title of it is, right? That's a win. That's progress. That's the part of the process that you have to go through to complete the whole book. But go ahead and celebrate the small wins. Each small win adds up to a big win. And they're all wins at the end of the day. You can't lose when you win it. All right. And so mindset shift from victim to victor. Let's talk about it. And so mindset is everything. Mindset is key. How you think, your limitless beliefs, right? Your self-belief, you empowering yourself, motivating yourself. Those are the keys to shifting your mindset. All right. Again, how we talked about earlier, being careful of what you take in, what your orifices, what you allow in your body through the openings of your soul. Okay. And so we are shifting our mindset from that victimhood mentality to empowerment. All right. So no longer am I a victim. I am a victor. I am a victor in Christ. I am a victor because God created me to be who I am. And no longer where I sit at the bottom or allowing people to step on me and over me because it's my time. It's definitely your time. All right. And so I'm going to give you a tip on reframing negative thoughts and focusing on your strengths. All right. And guess what that tip is? Loving yourself, regardless of what you've gone through, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of where you've been, the different things that you have done that you may not have liked, even yourself, right? The people who have hurt you, the people who have abandoned you, all right? The manipulation, the narcissism, all of that. Reframing those negative thoughts and focusing on the positive because you love you first. All right. And so I want you to take a minute and to just say to yourself, I love you. Just take a minute and say to yourself, I love you. And when you say that, I want you to insert your name at the end. Ready? I love you, Ebonee. Period. Period. And that is how you take back anything and everything that the enemy tried to steal from you. And so I want to leave you guys with one of my favorite quotes. Okay. And so because my purpose, thank you, Dr. Dashia, for explaining that so eloquently. My purpose is to serve. My purpose is to empower. My purpose is to inspire and to motivate. My purpose is to be what I call a modern day Harriet Tubman. And you know how Harriet Tubman, she was a slave herself, but she sacrificed herself to find the way. She trusted God to sacrifice herself to find the way. That is my purpose. And so I show others through my journey the way. Not everybody is going to follow you, just like they didn't follow Harriet. But those who trust and believe in the Lord will follow you when they know that you have a calling and an anointing and a gift, they will trust God to trust you. And so I'm going to leave you with a quote from Mark Twain. And he says, there are two most important days of your life. Number one, the day when you were born, and the day when you discover why. Okay. And I'm also going to leave you with this. There are many scriptures in the Bible that I want you guys to look up. Okay. I'm not going to give you the scripture, but I'm going to leave you with this as the word and affirmation for you to get up and go today. All right. Because if God can be for me, then what? Who can be against me? Come on, somebody. If God can be for me, who should be against me? No one. No one. And then the second one is, and we all should know this, even if you don't know where it's at, that's your homework. You have to find where it's at so that I know that you did your homework. You don't just trust Dr. Ebonee, you looked it up yourself and you know that this is the word. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I don't care if I ain't got the money. I don't care if I ain't got the degree. I don't care if I ain't got the man. I don't care how many children I got. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And lastly, right? God says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. If that ain't encouraging and empowering, I don't know what is. So I am your girl, Dr. Ebonee Gresham. My time is up, and I really hope that you guys were encouraged, motivated, inspired, and most of all, empowered to live out and fulfill your purpose, because at the end of the day, there are people out there that need you just like they needed me, right? They needed to hear my story. They needed to hear my testimony. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to really close out. One of my mentors said, you are like the Tylenol to somebody's headache. How long are you going to let them hurt? And that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. You are the Tylenol to so many people's heartache, pain, headaches. How long are you going to leave them suffering? Thank you.
Come on, Tylenol. Come through, Tylenol. You are all the Tylenol to somebody's pain. Okay. I pray that this presentation helped you understand yourself first and foremost, right? I feel called to share the love hierarchy. As anytime I get on anything, I share the love hierarchy, and that's love God first, yourself second, and everybody else third. Like you when you give yourself the Tylenol and heal your body and love yourself and choose yourself first in all that you do, then that's when the purpose starts to really come out, because now you understand yourself. Like, what do they say? You can't love yourself. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself, right? And so when you truly are loving on you unconditionally and following what your soul has brought you here to experience, that's when the purpose really starts to come about. And as I was saying earlier, it's like you're here to overcome the obstacles that you went through and now help somebody else. So be that Tylenol for the people. Find it's yourself first, save yourself first before you try to save the world. But then when you're in a good space, that's when it's your time to create that legacy for yourself. Because at the end of the day, when you're serving the world as much as possible, you'll be earning a great living while doing it too. Your life is supposed to be full of abundance, because abundance is your birthright. So take all of these gems about how to really tap into your mind, to your body, to your soul, listen to yourself, and take figure out the assignments that you need to continue, maybe start, maybe let go, to get closer to your purpose, and empower your damn self first. Okay, you have to be your biggest motivator. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. Don't let anybody dim your light from what you are meant to do. Okay, that I actually had an accountability partner where I was figuring out my first course as a coach. And I said something like, I really feel called to help people heal. And she said, You're not a healer. Only God is a healer. And that actually took me aback. Like, this is somebody that I'm supposed to be, you know, like I lean on for my purpose. But she said, You're not a healer. And yes, she's right. God is the healer. However, a part of my purpose is helping people get to the problem that is keeping them stuck. And so your healing, your purpose can come in so many different ways when you really tap into who you are as a person and walk in your true, authentic self. The people will come. The people will come when you're walking in your true, authentic self and your true, authentic path. The people that you saw around you in your 10-year life path, those are the people that you may not even recognize their face right now. And it's not your job to. Just know that you're going to be building a community of like-minded individuals to help you, but and also help live out what we are supposed to be doing, which is building the kingdom here on this beautiful earth. So I pray that the information that you guys received in this amazing workshop help you get more clear on your purpose, helped you empower yourself and know that you have the tools to help empower the next person. And I pray that you guys are just taking care of you and loving on you first, just like Dr. Ebony said. So thank you, Dr. Ebony. Thank you, Dr. Deja. Thank you all for joining this. The replay is going to be up very soon, and you're going to be able to get the edited great version of the healing hypnosis session and your replay as well. So make sure that you tap in to watching the replay and constantly brainwashing yourself to success. Put the good information through your ears so that you can catapult into the best version of you. Thank you all for being here so much. I love you all. I'm sending you all healing energy with lots of love. Have a beautiful rest of your day.